Welcome everybody to today's webinar. If you're here to learn how to optimize your website for AI search, you're at the right place. Um, Today is going to be great. There's so many things changing with AI, so making sure that your business has the best chance to be in front of your customers. Before Renee is going to kind of knock it out of the park. So before I introduce her, I do have a few housekeeping to go over. First, I want you guys to interact with us in the chat. And to kick it off, when is the last time you've updated your content on your website? And feel free to be honest. I'm sure we're going to have the gamut of those who do it regularly and maybe those who have kind of put it on the back burner. But drop in the chat if you're an A, B, or a C. That chat can usually be found in the bottom right hand of your screen. This is also where you can ask your questions, leave your comments. I will be monitoring it throughout the webinar today. So please engage with us there. And just know that after today, you will have things that you can go and take action on so that your website can keep working for you in today's era of AI. And I want to remind everybody that these webinars are free and open to the public. And so we want to thank our sponsors and our partners who continue to help us keep these webinars free. And joining us today is Gus with First State Bank Nebraska. And so I'm going to let Gus take the stage and let us know all about First State Bank.
Yeah, thank you. Just want to start by saying thank you on behalf of First State Bank Nebraska for letting us be a part of this event. I'm Gus Whoople. I'm a credit analyst and SBA specialist with First State Bank, and we've been around for more than a century, kind of headquartered out of Lincoln and primarily out of the southeast part of the state, but have business beyond that as well. We're especially proud to support small businesses primarily through our SBA and conventional loan options. This includes business startups, acquisitions, equipment and real estate purchases, along with just regular old revolving lines of credit. So beyond that, we also have deposit, point of sale, and insurance solutions. So really just aim to support businesses at nearly any stage of their life. Beyond that as well, if you're not quite sure where to start on the financial path, always happy to offer kind of a consultative resource to you as well. So just want to say thanks again and happy to support Grow Nebraska, and thanks for having us.
Thank you, Gus. And do know that their website is on the screen. And if you want to connect, please reach out to them. They are a wonderful bank to work with. They have also been in any of your email correspondence. So that link you clicked on, if you need a direct link, go check them out. Thank you, Gus, and thank you for your continued support. I also want to feature a member of ours. Our Grow Nebraska member that we're featuring this week is the Bauer Computer Consulting, a Kearney, Nebraska-based technology company that has been helping businesses navigate their IT needs since 1983. So whether you need managed IT services, cybersecurity monitoring, computer repair, or custom programming, website development, even the cloud-based virtual servers, their experienced team provides practical technology solutions that keep businesses secure, productive, and connected. So if you're looking for a trusted technology partner right here in Nebraska, be sure to check out the Bauer Computer Consulting. I also want to bring attention to a couple different opportunities depending on where you're located in Nebraska. So we will be offering BAIL, which stands for Banker, Accountant, Insurance, and Legal, now in Lincoln. And so coming July 9th will be our first round of BAIL, and that will be a free one-on-one access to ask all the resource providers that are in the room specific questions without having to pay any sort of consulting fee. And so if you're looking to connect, if you're looking to ask questions, maybe for some guidance, be sure to check out BAIL in Lincoln. We also have BAIL in Omaha, and that is one that has been reoccurring for a while now, but we like to remind people that if you're looking for those same things, we do have one offered in Omaha. through our Women's Business Center. And then we are Grow Nebraska. We are a nonprofit and we assist Nebraska businesses with marketing support, digital footprint, networking, and we do tailored coaching with our members. And so if you have a business and you're wondering if Grow Nebraska could be a good fit, please reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation and see if we can just at least connect you with a resource in Nebraska so that you can reach your business goals. If you are a member, welcome. We are thrilled that you are joining us for a training. And with that, I would like to welcome Renee. Renee also was a presenter at Market Tech. And so if you've already heard her, you know we're in for a treat. And I will let you kind of take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on today. I appreciate Grow Nebraska and everything that you do for small businesses. So, just huge shout out to you. I've heard personally from clients of mine. Alex is a client. I saw his picture there with his beautiful family, and yeah, I just know what a great support system you've been to him and so many other members. Um, so I'll go ahead and share my presentation with you. Getting,
And it looks like we have a lot of people who have updated their website in the last 6 months. So you guys are on track.
yeah. I was really impressed by that as well. I am a big believer that your website should not just be a billboard. It should definitely be like a living, breathing organism, reflecting, what's going on within your business, new products, showcasing clients that you've helped or customers that have benefited from your products. So, kudos to all of you that are continuing to update those. Um, I have a little bit of a video rolling here. You can use this QR code to request a free SEO GEO audit from us. Just filling out a form on our website. And this tool gives you so much valuable insight into how your website's performing, your SEO, your social media presence. Um, and it even gives you some actionable steps of like how you can improve your website. So if any of you that are tuned in and want to get one of those reports from us, just takes 24 hours for them to generate. We can schedule a time to go over it with you or just send it over to you. It's no problem at all. So and with that, we're going to move right into the presentation today on AI-powered search and how to optimize your website for the new era. I know this is something that's a big question mark for so many of my customers and just people that I meet when I'm out networking. They want to know how to be found in that AI search section. So we're going to give you as many tips and tricks on how to do that today. But if you still have questions after the presentation, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Um, we're just going to kind of go over some of these buzzwords that you've been hearing. What's the difference between AEO, GEO, and AIO? That way you might be able to like sound intelligent when somebody asks you about this new trend and just also go over like what types of things to be putting out for content, how you can be found by the large language models, and just a small roadmap on how to get started. So without further ado, I think you guys are all aware, that's why you're here today, that ranking first with organic search is not guaranteeing you're going to be the first click anymore. So there's the section right under the Google search bar that says AI overview. And a lot of people are getting stuck right there, getting the information that they searched for, and perhaps clicking the link for the source that was cited right in that section. And they're not even scrolling beyond that down to those blue links that we've traditionally used to find the content that we're searching for. Um, One of the great quotes that I saw was that Google's processing over 8.5 billion searches per day. Um, and now AI overview, I think this is outdated, that it's probably showing up more than 50% of the time anymore. So we definitely want to help you be found in that section as a trusted resource. And we will kind of get into how that's done here in a second. But this is a great visualization. I'm a super visual person. Um, just showing where this leak in the pipeline can truly hurt you. So, you might have done some research on yourself, looked at your keyword rankings, and if you're being found for, um, carpet cleaner near me, that's really great. It's not a bad thing, obviously, to be um, found for some of those keywords, but now AI is blocking that entire top section before the ads, before the blue links. So even if you have a great SEO presence, you might just be missed altogether. And there's a few key things that the large language models are going to be looking for, making sure you have clear pricing, great reviews, having schema markups on the back end of your website. Those tell the large language model the answers that people are searching for. And you just want to have great FAQs, great blogs with answers first. And those are things that AI can grab and place in that AI search section. So on paper, you might look great, but you might be losing revenue to that AI search section. So we're going to try to eliminate that today. So in the past, traditional SEO was looking for keywords, backlinks, being ranked first in the 10 blue links at the top of the page, um, crawl frequency and domain authority, and then your page rank authority. Um, your backlinks do give you some additional authority. They're lending authority from that trusted source. But now we've layered in the large language models, and the AI powered search is looking for relevance, topical authority, being a leader in your industry. Um, they want super easy to find answers to people's questions, and that you are being cited as a valuable resource. Not only on your website are you providing content, but are you providing content across the board? One of the great reasons I volunteered to do a webinar today is that lends me a little bit of credibility with AI search, right? We're all in it for our own businesses here, and being linked by Grow Nebraska and referenced as somebody that understands and knows about AI search, that's only going to give AI a signal that maybe I'm somebody that they should send people to if they're asking that same question. So, you do want to be a trusted source, and you want to be cited anywhere and everywhere where AI is scraping the internet trying to provide answers to everybody's search queries. So you may have heard various three-letter abbreviations for all of this, and I think it is important to understand the difference between them. So AEO is the answer engine optimization, and I know you guys can all read, but you want to have your words pulled into that generative AI answer box. So if you have the answer to somebody's question, you're going to be found in AEO. GEO is different. That's when somebody wants to know the best carpet cleaner in Nebraska or best carpet cleaner near me. And the generative engine optimization is using things like reviews and external sites linking to your website, also saying that you're the best at what you do. So those reviews are just as important as ever. I know that you guys are all very familiar with that. I love how Grow Nebraska promotes Google Business Profiles, complete optimization, fully building out your GBP, and then asking for those reviews is huge. So one thing that you can do here is to make sure people are like being very specific in those reviews, mentioning a specific product or specific service. And that's something that AI can scrape in helping you to be found as the best of something. And then AI optimization is more of a general term, and it is just referencing your entire footprint across your digital landscape. So like as I said before, we do that report, that would give you some insight as to like how you're performing across the board over the internet, and areas of improvement to be helping you be found for AIO. So to put it into a little bit better context, a little bit more easy to understand, just AEO is getting your words pulled into the answer. So a client of ours is a Say So Total Health, and a blog that we've written was about understanding male body changes at age 60. So, um, oops. If you search right now, go to Google and say, how does the male body change at 60? You might be seeing a Say So Total Healthcare being referenced as the trusted source with information about that exact topic. And what's great for them is they do virtual healthcare. So somebody might sign up for a telehealth session with them because they really are an expert at what they do. So writing great blogs written for specific things that people are searching for in your industry is huge. So um, trying to only go for, one phrase at a time and giving that answer first is huge. Um, and that leads me right into this. So here's the cycle, right? Like people are going to ask a question, why is my AC blowing warm air? The answer first block is that AEO section, and it's going to try to give you like a snippet answer that might completely fulfill the question, giving them the answer right then and there. Um, and then there will be like a second elaboration. And then the way to have the LLMs trust you and provide your answer there is by building clean answer first sections on your website. So you can do that through blogs, asking a question, stating the answer, and then getting into the details of that answer. Or you can also create FAQ sections on your website that provide those same answers. Um, then don't stop there. Be sure to post that as an article on LinkedIn, put it on YouTube in a video, or answer questions that people are posting on Reddit, with maybe a link to that same answer on your website. Um, and that's going to give you citations that AI can see. And it's just kind of that whole cycle just starts all over again. So content is still king. So a way to win that AEO section is to find real questions people are asking, give clean answer first sections, and then put that anywhere and everywhere online. So that content can be used, as a post on your Google Business profile, or like I said earlier, just, putting it on social channels across the board. Um, and then you want to have as many of those places that are citing you as possible. Just making sure it's easy to read, and your content is accurate. Be sure to double check anything that you're getting as maybe a draft through ChatGPT or any other LLM. Make sure everything that you're posting is accurate because it does make mistakes. So moving on, we're going to go into GEO as a little bit more of like a hands-on example. So I went ahead and searched who makes the best soap in Nebraska, and the AI overview told me it was 18th Street Soap in Omaha, Wild Ass Soap, who is a member of Grow Nebraska, uh, Loray's Handcrafted Soap, Patra Soap, also a Grow Nebraska member. So what I love here is that Buy Nebraska is the trusted source, giving that information to Google and answering that question of who makes the best soap in Nebraska. So kudos to all of those companies. They're doing something right. So AI recommendations rely on fitness and synthesis. So a fitness signal is going to be like I mentioned earlier, you want to have transparent pricing, deep feature pages with all the answers that people could be asking about your product or service, authentic reviews, case studies, and then clear brand positioning. A synthesis signal is going to be a data signal, and it's going to be a comparison page where you can show like what's included in your product versus another competitor, um, pros and cons of utilizing your services, um, facts, tables, and listings. AI loves to grab tables and bullet pointed lists. Then you want to have, again, fresh pricing and industry insights. So on Google is no longer good enough. We have this little gap between the question and being found in that blue link. You want to know that you're being listed in that AI section because otherwise your competitor's most likely being listed there. But your SEO might look great, but you're making some assumptions about your business that people are going to scroll past the AI, past the advertising, and then get to your link. So, GEO is also, just getting your business chosen by AI. This was at Marketech. I took a picture of the Judy Fox did a presentation and asked the question, who would you recommend for marketing consulting in Lincoln, Nebraska? And I was like super excited that this was the topic I was going to be presenting on, and we were recommended in that search section. So um, it definitely, I have had, inbound leads come in because ChatGPT recommended us. So it's definitely worth working on your GEO. And then AIO, um, this is sort of like the big picture. Everything that you have in the digital world can be searched by AI, and you want to build this authority ecosystem. So, first, it starts with a great website. That's the foundation of any business. I know you all understand that. And so, um, definitely run some SEO tools on your website. Make sure that you have a schema markup, that you have a robots.txt file, um, a strong FAQ page, articles, and reviews. We want to make sure that we have that built, looks great, easy to navigate. People stay on your website, and don't bounce because it's loading slow or something like that. But then other places that you can put information would be like LinkedIn and Quora. You should definitely take any content that you're posting like as a blog on your website and post it also as an article on LinkedIn. Um, Kind of that thought leadership, those types of posts on your personal LinkedIn page. You know your industry inside and out, so let's just make it be known to AI as well that you are such an expert in what you do. Um, they'll definitely take that as a signal that sending somebody, they can connect you to your business and to your website, and you'll be more likely to be recommended by AI. So you want to have a consistent listing across all the different listing sites that are out there. Some very common ones would be like Yelp and Yellow Pages, but that name, address, phone number needs to be consistent and accurate all across the board. Because if you have an old phone number that's somehow still floating out in outer space of the internet, AI is going to see that, and they're going to see that as a signal that you're obsolete. You don't even know what your phone number is. This doesn't check out, and they don't trust you as much. So that's one of the benefits of running that digital audit that we do. It shows you anywhere where you have inconsistencies, so you can go out and correct those yourself, or you can use a tool that will push your information to those listing sites, and it's called a data aggregator. Those data aggregators are making sure that any of that old information. Maybe you used to go by a slightly different name. You've modified it because your business has changed slightly. Um, Anywhere where your old business name still being listed could be hurting you in AI search. Um, Again, with the the reviews, that is so important. Um, and news mentions anytime you can get PR, we love it, right? Like we want to be um, listed in the news, listed by Grow Nebraska. I love it when they do shout outs about, particular businesses that have been members of theirs. That's only helping you, and thank them whenever they are linking to your website. And yeah, if you can do anything like a podcast on your business, on your services that you offer, you know, even just like a comparison of your product versus another product, putting yourself out there can be scary, but it's definitely worth it. And AI is watching for all of those signals. I just want to take a quick second. If anyone has questions as we go, please feel free to put them in the chat. Um, I know that Cami was gonna kind of interrupt me if anything came up. So happy to take questions as we go. Don't Doesn't need to be just a me talking at you type of a webinar. So let me know if there's something that I need to get into a little bit more detail on. So if we don't have questions, I'm going to keep going. Thanks, Cami. So right now,
Renee, with that, we did have one just come in.
oh,
So
good.
encouraging them was great. Now they think this is a little off topic, but I think it'll be good. With AI, as a smaller municipality, what AI powered chat customer service would you recommend?
Oh, that's
I've been messing
interesting.
with Robofy. I want it to be able to answer questions like, when is trash due? When are utilities due? Any suggestions?
I haven't looked into Robofy, unfortunately, but we do have our own AI tool like that. I think that's probably a question that I could probably better answer like one-on-one offline. But those, you definitely want to get the right one. You want to be able to train it with your information. But there's a lot of really great tools that are doing the exact same thing. So um, in the end, if it's a budget constraint, and that one fits your budget, I would I would start implementing it and testing it internally, making sure that you're getting accurate answers after the training. And go for it. You can always basically just keep, having that chatbot putting in, like if you need further information, provide your name and phone number and we can give you a call or um, being able to send in an email or fill out a form so that they can ask their questions if they're not getting their answers. Um, People are definitely like craving ease of use, things like that. Not as likely to pick up the phone anymore. And it might reduce the number of phone calls that you're getting um, in addition to that. So I think it's a great idea, especially that particular use case with a municipality. So um, if you need help with implementing, let us know. But I would say go for it. People are definitely utilizing those.
Great. Thank you. And I agree. Training it would probably be key with anything, but keep the questions coming. I'll keep monitoring it. That was
Okay.
the only one so far. Oh, they said,
Okay.
thank you. I didn't want to waste time with the training. If there's a better one out there, um, it was the price point.
I can check
So,
into it after
yep.
this, and I can ask some of my like colleagues and see if they've ever used it. So
Perfect.
yeah. All right. Well, there's a lot of different ways that AI's, scoring and choosing to cite a website. So you want to have great quality content, and you want to have great technical health behind your website. So those are things like site speed, um, you know, great mobile loading. Um, that digital audit will give you a score on mobile and desktop. anywhere where you're having like 404 errors, things like that would anywhere where you can just clean up your site health, that's super important. Because Google doesn't want to send anyone to a non-existent page anymore. That makes people not want to use them as a search engine. So if somehow they've sent somebody to a 404, you know, they're not going to continue sending them to your website. Um, Structured data, that is the schema markups that I mentioned earlier. That does get fairly technical, but that's some code written on the back end of your website that tells um, LLMs when was the business formed, what are the services you offer, what are your hours, what's your address, and so that it can quickly and easily answer those questions using that structured data um, that's on the back end of your website. Um, it's similar to keywords and meta descriptions, but it is its own separate file. And then you want to have make sure that you can be searched. So having like a robots.txt file on your website makes it searchable by the large language models. So just checking to make sure that you have that. And then you also want to have great authority signals from other places, making sure you get a great score from Ahrefs, SEMrush on your site, making sure that it's something that if Google were to send people to your website, that they're going to have a good experience when they get there. So quality AI friendly content, comprehensive in-depth pages, making it simple and readable with short sentences and clear points, having topical authority. Um, Again, those tables, sections, lists that AI can just grab snippets from, um, making it fresh and timely, anything that's like new and up and coming in your industry. Um, if you have like a software product and you have outdated screenshots of your product, like you've done updates and it no longer looks like that, making sure to get those out and new ones in. That's really important. Having outdated content on your website only hurts you. Inaccurate data is also going to hurt. Um, Accurate pricing, and then any unique insights that you can provide your customers. These are places that I definitely go to myself to check on site health. So the Hoth is a great one. It'll do like an SEO audit. You can use the Google PageSpeed Insights, SEMrush, Ahrefs, schema.org. You can see, you can test your schema markups per page and make sure that the LLMs can read it. And it'll let you know if you have any errors in your schema markup. It'll also tell you if you have a schema markup on that page, which is good to know. And then that's just another little screenshot of that digital audit that we can prepare for you. It's kind of a summarized all across the board. Um, so you do want to have structured data. Those are those JSON files, schema markups, the FAQ pages, articles. This is where your schema markups should live. So if you have an FAQ page, testing it on that schema.org website, making sure that it is searchable, that's going to go a lot further than just having an FAQ page without a schema markup. Um, and it does give like just basic information about organization, etc. This does get pretty technical, so I would talk to your website developer if you're finding that you don't have those files on your website, um, starting to implement them, making sure you're on a platform that supports that. Like our website builder is Duda. We work in all website builders, but some are better than others. Like every time we post a blog, it automatically creates that schema markup for that page. So just getting to know your website in this new era of AI to make sure that you're not falling behind the times, make sure that people can search and find you. So this is an example of questions that a schema markup can answer about an organization. So it's as simple as, yes, I'm a pizza restaurant. Yes, I serve Neapolitan style pizza. Yes, we deliver. Yes, we're open late. We were founded in 1998. We're family owned. We use a wood-fired oven imported from Naples. Making sure your business information is consistent on all of your pages, that name, address, phone number, um, and your hours. It's just basic information, but um, LLMs can search that quicker than it can search the front end of your website. So if you just, you know, spoon feed it the information, it's more likely to put you in the AI search section. Um, so format your content in a way that the LLMs can grab it very easily. So giving that answer first and elaborating second, trying to use like 40 to 60 words, numbered lists and tables, FAQs, um, utilizing not only your H1 header, but also your H2 and H3. So you could go to our website and look at our blog page. So we will have an H1, and that's going to be main title of the blog. But there will be secondary and further subheadings. And those are things that AI is going to look at first anytime it goes to a website. So um, making sure to have descriptions in those headings is very important. And then your paragraph length and reading level is also important. So don't want to make too long of paragraphs, don't want to make it overly complex at a higher reading level. There's definitely places where you can run um, your text through a grade level checker. And we say around fourth or fifth grade is about as complicated as you want to make things. So um, trying to possibly dumb it down, but just, making it really easy to understand. Unless you're a highly, highly technical business, we recommend around fourth or fifth grade level. So, different authority signals that would lend credibility to you and your business would be news mentions, awards, reviews, appearances in podcasts or webinars, being featured in industry blogs, in those listing sites, those directories, and in community Q&A like Reddit and Quora. So, kind of summarizing all the different areas that we talked about today, these are the top 5 things that you should be working on in order to optimize your website for AI. Um, Audit the content for question alignment. You might not need to like make a whole bunch of new content. Maybe it's just reworking the way that content was written in your blog previously. You could do an update to a blog, and then that also is an indicator to Google that you're continuously updating your website. So there's multiple wins there. Implementing those schema markups and JSON files is important, and fix those core website vitals. Run an SEO report on your website. Find where's there problems, fix the suggested problems. Um, and if you
And
need help doing that, talk to your web developer.
and Renee, we had a question about you gave all those great health sites that they can go check. Do you know, are most of those free or are there a cost associated?
Yeah, those are almost all free. Ours that one that does everything across the board, I have a small fee with that, but yeah, like the Hoth and Google PageSpeed Insights, Ahrefs, like you can set up a one business. So you could take your business and you could set it up and it can send you like a weekly report on site health. So I've been getting one of those for a long time, and um, we're usually at either 97 or 98 health score out of 100. So I always look at that number. If I were to see it drop more than 97, I'd dig into the details of it. Otherwise, I'm just keeping my eye on it, making sure that site health stays high. You never know what could go on your website. You might have, accidentally made something unsearchable and it throws a big flag. So, um, yeah, definitely almost all those things are free. Checking out even just like how you're doing on your keywords, that's also like great to stay on top of. You want to be moving up in where you're found for certain keywords. Keywords are not dead. It's just less likely that people are going to get past AI search, past the ads to the blue links. But yeah, great question. And I can share with you the sites that I use after the webinar, and then you can send that out maybe in your follow-up email.
Yes, that sounds great. So I will include those. Everyone who registered will get a follow-up email with the link to the recording, and then Renee shared lots of great resources that I will include in there too. So that would be great.
Perfect. How are we doing on time? I can't see my time.
Yes, we are good. It's 12:41, so you
Okay.
have a little bit longer.
Okay, I'll just kind of finish up this slide and then we'll see if there's any questions after that. Um, so building those topical authority clusters, just 3 to 5 topics that your business just owns. So like you are an expert on that. You have blog topics, you write articles on LinkedIn on it, you are answering questions in Reddit. You are presenting webinars or podcasts on those topics. Like you own that and you will be found for that if people are searching for that. Whatever's the most important things for you to be found in your business, um, putting it everywhere. And then strengthen your trust signals with consistent name, address, phone number, a great Google business profile listing. Again, Grow Nebraska does a great job of hammering that home. So I know you guys are understanding how important that is, but you're in the minority. Not all business owners understand how important that Google business profile is, especially with putting updates on there regularly. It's basically Google's equivalent of LinkedIn. They don't have a competitor to a business social media site like LinkedIn. That is their LinkedIn. So continuing to feed it content makes Google happy. Google rewards you by placing you higher on um, search results. And then getting some expert bios and high authority citations, like if you are a member of a local chamber of commerce and they're having a panel, speak, I would definitely volunteer myself for something like that because they're going to, list you as part of that panel presentation, lending you some authority from a very trusted business source. Um, so yeah, AI search hasn't changed everything. That's the good news. Like everything you've done already is going to be used by AI. Just making sure it's easier for it to search it and then continuing to build on that and being just a little bit more of a wider breadth of where you're having content posted online. Um, Making sure you got some other people saying, like, yeah, I say I'm good at what I do, but other people are saying I'm good at what I do as well. That gives you a lot more authority and you're more likely to be cited by AI. Okay, so here's just a slide. You guys can connect with me on LinkedIn if that's of interest. I've got my phone number and email address on here. Again, they're going to send out these slides after the presentation today. So feel free to reach out with any questions and request one of those digital audits from us. Um, It is a little bit harsh on the grading. So just as a forewarning, you might not get like the most ultimate great grades, especially like in the social media section. Like if you don't have a Twitter profile, it really, gives you a worse grade because of that. But that doesn't mean you need to have a Twitter profile. So I'm happy to go over those results with you and then send you that afterwards, and you can kind of make some of those changes that is recommending on your own accord. Um, any questions I can help people with?
Awesome. Thank you, Renee. This has been very enlightening and helpful. We had one person request that you go back to your contact screen.
Oh, sure. No
And I
problem.
will put her contact in the follow-up email as well, but I think she's going to go back. And I do want to remind all of the Grow Nebraska members who are on that if you need assistance with your Google My Business profile, that is something we do for all of our members. So whether it's, how to navigate it, how to claim it, how to maybe re-verify because you had a change of address. And so that's something that you guys should all take advantage of so that it helps with all of the good AI information Renee was talking about. I'm going to fill a little time. So if you have questions, now's the perfect time to ask the expert that we have on. While you're thinking of your questions or typing them out, do join us in July. We have two powerhouse presenters coming. We have one that's going to talk about all about the power of the inbox and email marketing. And so join us July 16th, get registered for that. And then we also have one that's going to be about cyber risk and defensive strategies. So how small businesses can be big targets and how you can avoid any of the cyber risks along with that. And so be sure you get signed up and join us live. Renee, you might have knocked it out of the park and
Or the topic
participated
is,
well.
too heavy. It's a little dry, but I understand that it's kind of a lot to digest too. So that might be part of the problem.
Mhm.
I see here that Yasmin put in the chat. She's our project manager. We've had great luck with ElfSight AI agent. And so that's like a nice, easy plugin. So might want to check that one out and compare it to Robify from that question earlier. So thank you, Yasmin, for chiming in. I'm not the doer here, everybody. I have a great team behind me. I couldn't be doing this webinar today if I was, building websites and apps and making social media content. So I always lean on them for all the fulfillment. So I'm just a talking head. That's all.
Well, we do have Jackie says that she's a nonprofit and wants to know, would your advice be the same as it is for a for-profit business?
Generally speaking, yes, because you have great insight as to like the needs and the questions that your constituents are asking. So being that authority on any of the topics that your people are facing, like if it's um, an organization that helps people facing cancer, like providing information on how to not kill your credit score during that time or get into too much debt, like all the resources that you can provide people, um, and being like that answer first person. That's why people are coming to you. They need so much help. So yeah, I would say there's not really anything that I would, inherently change about the strategy. So that's a good question. Um,
And
I also
I'm
saw one pop up here asking if we do apps, and we do develop mobile apps. We can do anything from like custom coded software, like or an app built from a framework, like very complex, to something really simple. If it's just like you just need to have ways for people to like communicate with you and put content out, or even like an internal organization tool where all of your information's in one spot. So there's a lot of different use cases for mobile apps. So yeah, if you have a specific new idea or just something that you're implementing in your business, we can talk that over. I guess I could go over everything that we do as a company. It's kind of anything that you're needing help with as far as digital marketing goes. We do website and app development, SEO, we do social media, organic social media posting. We can also do branding and videography or photography, which great photography on a website goes a long way. So if you have not done a branding photography session, I highly recommend that. And then any types of digital advertising that you see out there from, pay per click, Google search, social ads, display banner ads. streaming TV, streaming audio, um, digital out of home, the video billboards that you see when you're driving. One here is like when you exit at the Waverly exit in Lincoln. So pretty much any ads you're seeing online, that's something that we could help you with. And that's not something easily accessible to all businesses. So you may have been wondering, I mean, how do I get my ad on uh, you know, Prime TV when I see those ads? How do I get my ad on there? We can help you with that. Oh, the question about Lovable. I have toyed around with that. It is actually a much better platform than some of the others out there that they have the ability where you can like maybe test and build a very good minimal viable product through Lovable. But if you're going to take that to market and you want to monetize it, or you need to have like a database of the users and secure storage of your data, we can actually export the code that was built with your minimal viable product and then put that on our own secure servers and then enhance it with custom coding around that, making any enhancements to the app that you've built. But Lovable is a very cool, easy to use, just basically chatting with it and asking it to make you a mobile app. It is mind blowing, but it's better than some of the other um, quick and easy app builders that are out there. They will not let you export your users or your content or your code. You'd have to start from scratch. So whoever asked that question, you're on the right track there for sure.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And I really love your answer first. That just resonates so much. And I'm always thinking, well, if I'm too in my business to realize what would be some of those common like FAQs that people might be searching that you already know, I always encourage people, feel free to ask somebody outside of your business what they come to you for or what they feel like you're an expert in, because that could really help you propel even your website into a deeper like deeper content for you to focus on.
Yeah, and I think that's a great use case too of just utilizing whatever your preferred LLM is. Like just throw that into ChatGPT or Claude and say, what do people want to know about in my carpet cleaning business? How to get wine out, right? Like that's something, but that's like an easy answer. But it'll help you formulate those questions and those blog topics, those things that, you can become a thought leader on LinkedIn. Um, Definitely CrowdStrike we do use. I see that question coming in. Having a great that BCC highlight that you had of the IT help, having a good IT company have your back with cybersecurity, email security. Um, Definitely recommend utilizing an IT service for that. Um, it's interesting because it's like there's this fine line between like we can buy someone a domain and then they want a domain email and then we quickly get into IT services. So we do not do IT services and my name is confusing because we're True North Technologies, but I just try to bring the best marketing tools to business owners, make it affordable. Uh, yeah, just easy to access all those latest and greatest trends that you're hearing about. But it is difficult for you to become the expert on everything digital marketing because just as we talked today, like there's 16 things you're already trying to keep your content, up to date and easy to find. So you don't have time to research how to place a display ad, and it isn't very accessible for everybody. So
Right. I love this next question that came through. So they're working on a site redesign. They have team members who insist on keeping archive winners, annual reports on their site. They have a couple questions. One, do you suggest keeping outdated content on the sites? And two, if the answer is yes, for how many years?
I think there's like regulations for nonprofits, like how many years you have to have like your 990 out there. Um, but I don't think that it's necessary to keep outdated content, unless you know that there would be historical, types of questions that you would want people to find through your website. So possibly depends on your industry. But yeah, annual reports and such, I would just keep whatever the bare minimum requirement is on that. And yeah, you can hide those pages so that you're not losing the content, but not make it part of your existing sitemap. Um, so yeah, I don't think that, I think actually hiding that stuff, cleaning it up, that shows Google that you are a trusted source. So you have up-to-date information is more important than keeping an archive. Does using GoDaddy or any other third-party website offer enough IT security? Is it reliable? I would defer to an IT professional on that one. Sorry about that. I've heard some horror stories about Microsoft 365 and GoDaddy interface with that, not being able to migrate out of GoDaddy to a Microsoft product of your own. So I've kind of heard some horror stories about GoDaddy um, in regards to email, but the like site security, like the SSL certificate, that should be standard with any domain registrar. Um, so really depends on like, how sensitive is the information that you're storing behind the gateway there. So yeah, I'll defer
And
to IT experts or cybersecurity insurance policy providers. I have a cybersecurity policy um, just to cover cover the bases. So
And you should sign up for our July 23rd webinar that is covering all types of security. So if you can hold off by then, that will be a great time to dive deeper and maybe even ask someone in that field as well.
yeah, yeah, they'll know a lot more about that. We just work on making your site look awesome and find it, make it searchable, all that good stuff.
Well, this has been very helpful. I think you've given us a lot of tangible things to go look at and even forward thinking of how you can kind of plan the way your blog is structured or what content you're putting out there. So thank you everyone for your questions. I haven't seen any others come in. So Renee, thank you again. And thank you again to all of our sponsors and supporters for helping us keep these webinars free and open to the public. If you guys know of anyone and you see a topic of our training, feel free to share it with those that you have in mind that could benefit from joining us on these trainings. And thank you for our First State Bank Nebraska for being a valued partner. With that, we look forward to seeing everyone in July for our next round of trainings. I will send out the follow-up with all of the good information Renee has shared with me to link.